Hi, I'm Jeff Porkins from Zombie Reporting Center. Today we're going to show you a good way that I like to do zombie makeup for a nice freshly dead look, not so decayed. It's pretty easy to do, rather inexpensive. You can do it with any colors you want. You can use the colors that I suggest and you can use the makeup that I suggest and you'll get my results. Or you can go with any other colors, experiment with any other colors or any other kind of shapes. But this is the way I do it. It's the way I think looks good. I personally like to use Ben Nye products. I find them at my local costume shop. They're not necessarily cheap, but they are affordable and they work very well. They blend well together, and once you powder them, you can touch your face and it's not like, you know, childhood Halloween where you had to go around with an itchy face and not touch it. For what we're going to do today, I suggest getting what's called the Death Wheel. It's a Ben Nye product. It literally is called the Death Wheel. The Death Wheel has 6 colors, 4 of which we will use today. Death Flesh, Death Purple, Death Straw, Death Blue Gray, Pale Vampire, and Frankenstein. We will be using Death Flesh, Death Purple, Death Straw, and the Frankenstein. Also, I use Steel Gray. It's a smaller pot, it's a cheaper pot of color, and it's a good dark color without being black. It works well for shadows and just for general darkening things. I also personally got my own larger pot of Death Flesh because I go through a lot of it. Also today, from the Ben Nye line, we'll be using the Neutral Set powder. You can use Neutral Set. It doesn't have any kind of fragrance to it, is what I like about it. You can also use baby powder or any kind of talcum powder, or cornstarch will work as well. Along with that, you'll need the powder brush. You can find a powder brush in any makeup aisle in any store that has makeup, regular cosmetics. Also, the cosmetic rounds to apply the Death Flesh. And I use these very nice Crayola Art Skills brushes. I actually have the package. These were $5 at Kroger, the local grocery store. They work very well. They have good angles to them, and yeah, they don't cost an arm and a leg. One last thing is the stipple sponge. You just cut a piece off and you can make stipple. For this recently dead look, you want to lay a foundation of pale color with a sponge around. I use Ben Nye's Death Flesh. You don't want to blend it like a cosmetic foundation, you want to apply it thick so it comes out to be the pale color. For the next step, find a dark color to make shadows. I use Ben Nye's Steel Gray. Any dark color will do. Using a brush, lay a dark line in the center and blend it outward. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You can use your fingers to blend the fine lines out of the makeup and give it a more natural look. You want to achieve a sunken feature look. Using a picture, or better yet a model of a skull, imitate the recesses of the skull by adding your shadow color. Again, start with a dark line and blend outward. Finish off by blending the fine line with your finger. One good tip is to only dip one side of your brush in the makeup and leave the other half so you can blend it. Find where your subject's face naturally indents under the cheekbones and exaggerate it with your shadow color, blending it with the foundation. Add your shadow color to the natural creases in the face to give a more sinister snarl look. Use a pale color to give your rosy lips a deathly palette. I use Ben Nye's Frankenstein. I used this death purple to add further dimension and depth to the sunken eyes. I used the stipple sponge and the death purple to add a burst blood vessel effect to the eyes. I also stipple the death straw just to add a little bit of disease. All these colors are found on Ben Nye's Death Wheel. I also stipple a bit of the death purple around the mouth, which will lend detail to blood smears if you want your zombie to look well fed. To top it all off, heavily apply powder to the makeup area with a puff. The powder soaks up excess moisture and sets your makeup so it's safe to the touch. Brush the powder off well with a powder brush, paying special attention to those nooks and crannies in the eye area.